Good afternoon, good morning. The 36th District Court for the state of Michigan is still in session. I am Judge Christina B. Kennedy, and I am calling the 1:30 p.m. docket for Friday, July 26, 2024, right now. Now calling case number 24350-615. This is Juanita Simmons versus Cherie Mason. This is for property located at 18649 Avon in the city of Detroit. This matter is scheduled for a first hearing on a complaint to recover possession of property pursuant to Michigan Supreme Court Administrative Order 2020-17. All first hearings are to be adjourned. Therefore, this matter will be adjourned to September 13th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. That will be an in-person hearing to take place in courtroom 433. Plaintiffs are to bring all substantiating documentation to the next court hearing, and it needs to be reduced to writing. That includes the deed, the lease agreement, the completed proof of service, the property management agreement, and a completed or up-to-date rental ledger of rent as an issue. We have an attorney who has already filed an appearance on behalf of the defendant. The court will mail notice to both parties. And again, this will be an in-person hearing. That concludes this matter. Now calling case number 24350-625. This is Rosh H. Holmes versus Alexis White and Oscar Malone and all occupants of 13883 Seymour in the city of Detroit. The matter is before the court on a complaint for non-payment of rent. Today is the time and date scheduled for a first hearing in this matter. Pursuant to Michigan Supreme Court Administrative Order 2020-17, all first hearings are to be adjourned. Therefore, this matter will be adjourned to a new date. There's a proof of service in this file. And so this matter will be adjourned to September 13th, 2024. That'll be an in-person hearing to take place at 8:30 a.m. in courtroom 433. All parties or both parties are to bring any supporting documentation, and it must be reduced to paper. Plaintiffs need to bring the deed, the lease agreement, the property management agreement, if there is one, an updated ledger, and a completed proof of service. Defendants, if you have any evidence to substantiate your defense, please bring it to court, reduced to paper. The court will mail notice to both parties. That concludes this matter. Now calling case number 24350-677. This is Christina Jones versus all occupants of 12351 Lansdowne in the city of Detroit. This matter is before the court on a complaint to recover possession of property. Today is the time and date scheduled for a first hearing. Well, the matter is actually scheduled for a first hearing to take place at 1:30 p.m. Pursuant to Michigan Supreme Court Administrative Order 2020-17, all first hearings are to be adjourned. Therefore, this matter will be adjourned to a new date. There is no proof of service in the file. I am checking the register of actions right now to see if a proof of service has been filed. According to the register of actions, no proof of service has been filed. Therefore, this matter will be tentatively adjourned to August 23rd, 2024 at 1:35 p.m. to allow for service. And that will be a Zoom hearing. However, if the defendant does appear in court today, the matter will be adjourned to a different date, and that will be September 13th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. in person. in courtroom 433. Again, the matter is tentatively adjourned to August 23rd at 1:35 p.m. via Zoom, unless the defendant does appear in court at 1:30. If the defendant appears in court at 1:30 today, the defendant will have an opportunity to speak to an agency attorney, and the matter will be adjourned to September 13th at 8:30 a.m. in person. The court will mail notice. That concludes the matter ending in 677. Now calling case number 24350-678, Christina Jones versus all occupants of 16001 Fordham in the city of Detroit. The matter is before the court on a complaint to recover possession of property. The matter is scheduled for a first hearing to take place at 1:30 p.m. today. Pursuant to Michigan Supreme Court Administrative Order 2020-17, all first hearings are to be adjourned. Therefore, this matter will be adjourned. There's no proof of service in this file, so the court does not have knowledge of whether the defendant was served or not. The register of actions does not reflect that a proof of service has been filed. And so this matter will be tentatively adjourned to August 23rd, 2024 at 1:35 p.m. to take place via Zoom. If the defendant does appear in the court's Zoom hearing at 1:30 p.m. today, then the court will allow the defendant to speak to an agency defense attorney, and then the court will adjourn the matter to a different date. And that date is September 13th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. And that would take place in person. Again, the matter is tentatively adjourned to a Zoom hearing on August 23rd, 2024, unless the defendant appears. If the defendant appears today, the matter will be adjourned to September 13th at 8:30 a.m. to take place in person. The court will mail notice. That concludes the matter ending in 678. Now calling case number 24350-701. Prentice Gardner versus Dorothy Alexander. This is for property located at 5764 Field Street in the city of Detroit. This matter is scheduled for a first hearing to take place at 1:30 p.m. today on a complaint to recover possession of property. The court file does not contain a proof of service, and so the court has no knowledge as to whether the defendant was served or not. I have checked the register of actions. There is no indication in the court's register of actions that a proof of service has been filed. So this matter will be tentatively adjourned for service to August 23rd, 2024 at 1:35 p.m. And that matter will take place via Zoom. Again, the matter is tentatively adjourned to August 23rd, 2024 at 1:35 p.m. For a Zoom hearing. If the defendant does appear in court today at 1:30 p.m., then the defendant will have an opportunity to speak to an agency attorney, and the matter would be adjourned to a different date. And that date will be September 13th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. And that would take place in person. The court will mail notice to both parties. That concludes this matter. And that concludes the 1:30 p.m. docket for courtroom 433 for Friday, July 26, 2024. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Madam Court Reporter. Thank you, Officer Wallace. Officer Wallace, there's only one of you. Court is adjourned.